to Disney's Animal Kingdom. Now, my good friend Laura Duane is here. She is a biologist, and she is with Guam Wildlife, and she has a special friend with her. This is Tano.
Yes.
All right. So tell us a little bit about Tano, because like obviously a Guam rail, the cuckoo bird, a beautiful bird.
Yes, he is.
I hope everybody can see this on camera how beautiful the feathers and the plumes are.
Yeah, so this is Tano. He's one of our education birds. He's one of 4 that we have right now that go out to schools and to public events and are basically the ambassadors for our cuckoos that we breed in captivity and release into the wild.
So he's one of your more social birds.
He's one of the most social. He's hand-reared, so he's used to us. He identifies more with humans than the actual cuckoo birds.
Does he have his own like Instagram account or his own Facebook page?
He tried. We caught him, so.
He kept following Britney Spears and like be distracted. Okay. Is he the biggest he'll ever get right now? Because he's pretty good size for a cuckoo bird.
Yeah, he is. He's actually adult right now. He's 7 years old. They usually live to be about 14 in captivity, and he's basically they start off about this big, little black puffballs, and about a month later they're already half his size. So within a year, they're like this.
Okay. And how old is he, and what's his life expectancy?
He's 7 years old, and he's going to be expected to live around 14 years old.
Okay, so you're almost to retirement age, Tom. Yeah. So congratulations, you've got Social Security awaiting you, and all that nice stuff. So AARP and all that. Okay, so let's talk now about the Disney Animal Kingdom event. Obviously, this is a education and outreach event and a celebration of all things in the animal kingdom. Obviously, so tell us about that.
We have Disney come out. They've actually been coming out for the last 3 years, and they actually perform health assessments, so basically a health checkup of all our rails and our kingfishers that we have at our facility. And it's just been great to have them here. I mean, they have all this experience with all these exotic animals from the Disney Animal Kingdom. And if anyone knows Disney, they're really big players in the whole conservation field in general. So, I mean, to have them take an interest in us is just great. And it kind of shows how important our birds are to the rest of the world and how important Guam is to the rest of the world as far as conservation and getting birds that almost went extinct back out into the wild and not extinct anymore.
And I'm sure it's a real treat for those biologists, because not only is it a chance to come out here to paradise and hang out in our climate and everything, but to study these types of creatures that are unique to this part of the world. I mean, I'm sure it's it's a dream come true for them.
It is, and I mean, the more you learn about these birds and birds in general, the more you realize that Guam really has just a number of birds, a number of species that are just unique to the world, and there's so many people that would just jump at the opportunity to work with them and to learn more about them.
Now, there are also going to be like workshops, I guess, or like seminars within the event. What are those going to entail?
So they're just going to be talking about what they do at Disney in general with the animals that they care for, and also, I mean, these guys go out to like places in Africa and work with elephants and rhinos and stuff like that. So it's more informational for kids who might want to go into that field, and realize that, just because you're from Guam, you're from the Pacific Island all the way out here, don't cut yourself off with just Guam. You can go out and see the world and then come back and give all that back to Guam.
But then the same token, again, there's a lot that if you grow up here, you can bring to the biology field, going out here with the types of creatures that we have, and, marine biology and our climate and whatnot.
Yeah, everything is just, it brings it all full circle. We just have so much to give, and it's just, now we get the opportunity to show the world what we have.
Well, this is obviously going to be May 1st at the Hyatt. Is there any cost to attend, and how long does the event go for?
It's expected to go about 1.5 hours. There's no cost, but there is limited seating, so you might want to RSVP if you are really interested in coming. We did have some extra seats last year, but like I said before, it was so good last year that we might be expecting more people this year.
Very cool. Okay, so now, talking about Tano and his relatives, as it were, I remember when I was a kid, when Guam rails would be brought around, they were almost sacred creatures because there were so few of them. What is the population of cuckoo birds today on the island and in the region?
So we have our cuckoo birds that we raise and we keep in our captive breeding facility with the Department of Agriculture, and we have about 102 birds there that are constantly breeding, going throughout the motions of captive breeding, and then we have about 60 to 80 birds on Cocos Island, and ever since we released them in 2010, it's just been booming. The supplemental release we had in 2012, they didn't even need it. They're just perfect out there. And then we have about 80 birds on Rhoda, where we've been releasing since the early 90s. So And that population, although we had a rough start, is actually starting to get a foothold, and hopefully we'll be able to stop releasing them in some years.
He wants to say something now. I think that, you know, the speech pattern that he's got is actually really interesting because it sounds like, you know, like a loud heartbeat, and it's interesting.
Yeah, so they have a thumping call that they do with each other to kind of, you know, let them know how they're feeling. And it was really interesting. What we do when we pair them together, they're very aggressive animals, so we actually have to go into a small little box that they can't see us in, and watch them for 20 to 30 minutes. And we had one pair that they were trying to build a nest, and you see the male pick up a leaf and go to different parts of the cage, and the female is just thumping here and there, going, yes, no, move over to left, over. And he'll just go until she doesn't say anything, and then he'll just drop a leaf.
That's a great metaphor on dating in general with our species. We can learn a lot from our brothers and sisters in the animal kingdom. Okay, so Tana, we got to go to commercial break. So you want to like fly out of here? Oh, I'm sorry, you can't. Yeah,
yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, that was terrible biology. I'm sure you hear about that stuff all the time. Well, Laura, thank you so much for the education.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the first at the Hyatt.
Yes.
We can't wait. All right, stay tuned because